Hi, Cheryl. I'm looking at your paper, and the first thing I notice is that you have some issues with your formatting, actually, a lot of issues. You need to go to the template that is provided for you. You can find it at the CSS's site. You can even find it on our website, on our Sakai site for the class because you don't have the running head. The spacing is really off. I'm not quite sure if you used a different program to do this in other than Word. You also have your page numbers in Calibri or whatever it's called. It should be in Times New Roman. Those need to be fixed. If you were to look at page layout, it says your margins are 1 inch, but there's something. It's because you have your page numbers not in your header. It looks like you put them in yourself. So you need to do an insert page number. Otherwise, it's giving these extra large. Yeah, see, it's giving these weird margins. You can't manually insert page numbers because it messes up everything in your paper. Let's see. See, now you've got this. Once you go through it, you see how it's kind of really messed up here. And then each page kind of gets worse. So you need to do this, go through just like I'm doing and get rid of all this stuff. Make sure they're together. Oops. Get that back to where it was. Okay, why do you have concessions. It should say conclusion, not closing. And then your reference page should be at the top of a page, which actually the best way to do that is to go the line right after your last line of your paper. Start your reference page, put insert page break, and then it always puts at the top of the page. This should be in Times New Roman 12, and it's not. Also, you have extra large spaces between your paragraphs. Hit Control A, go to paragraph, and see how it says 010. That should be 00 and double spaced, and that is how your paper should look. And you need to put in the running heads and the page numbers correctly. Excuse me. So that being said, which you're going to have to fix all of that. Even this is spaced incorrectly. It needs to be right there. Sometimes you're missing the period after the P. Not only that, but the 2006, if you use Friedman's name in the introductory tag or the signal phrase, the 2006 needs to come directly after Friedman's name and not here. The only time the 2006 will be here is if it says Friedman 2006 in the page number. So you need to, and that needs to be insert page break at the top of the page as well. And so this is much better. You just need to fix that all up. If you are having issues with fixing it up, even if you couldn't really follow what I was doing, then you can always come in and see me, and I can show you again how to do it on your, or you can just take a look at the template. But let me know if you need some assistance with that. Okay, so that's the most basic thing. Now we need to focus on the really important stuff, which is what's in your paper. Actually, let me take a quick look at your references too. Okay, only have the P on payment capitalized. These other beginnings should not be. After BMJ, I should actually put British Medical Journal. You need to have comma 333, comma, and because that's the issue number, the volume. And that should be italicized as well. And you don't have anything in here about where you got it from. And what you need to do is you need to include the DOI because it has a digital object identifier on it. On the last page, you need to look for it. And so you'll have DOI, small DOI, colon, no space, just a colon, and then give that digital object identifier. So make sure you put that number in there and correct all of the formatting on this. Reference should be the same 12-point Times New Roman, just like everything else, and it should not be in bold. Okay, now let's look at your paper. Quickly take a look. Make sure that the beginning of every paragraph is actually indented a whole tab, not just, see, that's really how it should look. So I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I'm wondering if you used something other than Word to do this in. For mixed procedure audience of medical her audience is not medical students. Her audience is the medical community. The British Medical Journal is where it's published, and that's whoever's reading the British Medical Journal is going to be her audience. So that is not, this needs to be the correct audience. And persuaded her audience through her use of rhetorical strategies that offering payment for organ donation should be legalized. Okay, one is not just offering payment, it's providing payment for living organ donation. It's really, really, really important that you put the word living in here, because otherwise we're looking at, somebody dies and we donate their organs for money. That's not such a great idea. We're looking here for the person who's actually alive donating an organ. So that is very specifically what her argument is. So you need to make sure that you have that clear. A lot of people made that error. Okay, she convinced her audience that offering payment for donations could solve shortages, be safer for the recipients, and allow everyone involved to be treated fairly. When you're giving this list, I prefer that you use what they call the Oxford comma and put that comma in front of the and. She accomplished this goal through the use of rhetorical strategies of pathways. Okay, you don't need this. That is just, we'll find out what she used when we're dealing with that concise writing. You don't need to put that in there. What I want to know is, what is the name of her article? You said she successfully persuaded her audience. How? With what? You don't give the title of the article or the journal that it came from or anything else. Payment for living organ donation should be legalized. That's the title of her article. That should not be the title of your paper. So you should have something else here. So we need Friedman. Give her full name the first time you introduce her. Amy L. Friedman. Tell us who she is. Tell us the name of the article. Tell us where it was published and when, and then give us the rest of this information. Okay. Subclaims and overall tone. That is way too broad. You want to make your elements specific. Freeman gives many reasons why we need to legalize a system that includes payment for. So I'm reading to myself. Benefits of the legal system and the downfalls of not having one. At the beginning of the article, Freeman describes the organ shortage as severe. She used a rhetorical strategy of tone to persuade her audience. Really makes one pay attention. Don't say one. Her audience. Always say her audience, because she has a specific audience, and that's what we're looking at. To what she's saying, kind of like using the word extinction to get the attention of the audience in a paper about animals. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, that is that when we're dealing with that concise writing. She states that the current system is already unfair, as Mary. She brings up concerns. You're telling us all these things she's doing, but you're not proving it. I want quotes from her article to show that she's actually doing all these things you're saying she's doing. But to what purpose is she doing all of this? It's a very strong sentence. And this isn't really tone. This would be word choice, I would say, instead of tone. And I'm not sure why this is centered instead of aligned to the left. The word gift implies something very good and nice and creates a warm and loving thought. When you're talking about the word gift, you need to make sure you put the quotation marks around it. The author uses the appeal to set the stage. Okay, this, honestly, you're looking more at pathos here. This is an emotional appeal. So you need to make sure that you're getting what you're talking about in the right sections of your paper. She includes the benefits of society of patients being able to return to work by convincing the audience all of the benefits of organization. This is an important subclaim because, okay, I would honestly, you're going to need to reorganize this whole beginning. Subclaims and overall tone needs to go. If you want to talk about word choice, for this one, saying that she uses the word choice, honestly, even this, she brings concerns. What is the purpose of this paragraph? I'm not quite sure. What are you trying to say? I think what you need are some more effective topic sentences for your papers. You need to give more support for what it is you're saying, support out of her article. Let's go to the appeals. Ethos. Friedman did not actually seem to be trying to portray herself as an expert, but she did convince the audience. Why do you think she's not trying to present herself as an expert? She gives her credentials at the very beginning, next to the very first paragraph, which is her very much so trying to convince the audience that she's an expert. I guess my question, looking at your paper, did you watch the PowerPoint presentation that has all of the videos in it with me explaining all of the elements going on in her argument? Because if you did not, you really need to. I'm reading your paper, and I feel like you are missing a lot of things, or misunderstanding things that are happening. Honestly, if you have time, I think it would benefit you greatly if you could come in and see me, so we can talk about this and have an actual discussion, because you need quite a bit of work on it. And my other comment would be take a look. So one is review that PowerPoint where I explain everything in the videos. The other thing would be go to Unit 1, Paper 1 grade sheet for Paper 1 and look at what I'm expecting to be in each of those paragraphs where it talks about identify the element. How is that element what you say it is? How and why does Friedman use it? And how does it affect her audience? And how does it help persuade her audience? All of those things need to be in here, and you're missing a lot of that. You're identifying the elements, but not really analyzing them. And so and which is what a lot of, I mean, probably 75 to 80% of students, that's where they're at with their draft. That's fairly typical. But beyond that, I think you're also misunderstanding some of the things that are going on. Either you're misunderstanding them in the article, or maybe you're misunderstanding the concepts. I'm not sure which one. But like I said, I think it would be a really good idea, if at all possible, for us to get together. I know that this is due on Monday, but I have no problem giving you an extension on this. If you want to come see me, you just need to contact me as soon as you possibly can, and I will be more than happy to take it late, okay? Send me an email.